Don't steam sweet potatoes directly in water. It's a big mistake that many people don't even realize they're making. Hi, friends. I'm Nancy. For a long time, I thought steamed sweet potatoes were always soft, watery, and a bit disappointing. Maybe you felt that way too. But it turns out, it's not the sweet potatoes at all. It's how we prepare them. Today, I want to share a simple, home-style method that brings out their natural sweetness and soft, comforting texture. Not fussy. Just a few small changes that make a big difference. Before starting to steam, the most important thing is choosing good sweet potatoes and letting them rest for a while. When buying sweet potatoes, I always choose ones that feel reasonably heavy when I hold them in my hand. Heavier sweet potatoes usually contain more moisture and have a naturally sweeter taste inside. If you have the time, add one small extra step. Instead of cooking them right away, let the sweet potatoes rest in a cool place, away from drafts, for about 3 to 5 days. This resting time allows the starch inside to slowly convert into natural sugars. This is very similar to how fruit becomes sweeter as it ripens. This simple step alone can make a noticeable difference in flavor, and it is one of the reasons why steamed sweet potatoes taste so sweet and delicious. When ready to prepare them, place the sweet potatoes in a bowl of clean water and soak them for a few minutes. This helps loosen the dirt clinging to the skin. Use a small brush or your hands to gently scrub them clean, especially in the grooves. And this step is very important. Do not peel the skin. Sweet potato skin acts as a natural layer that helps retain moisture and sweetness during steaming. When the skin is removed, steam escapes too easily, causing the sweet potatoes to become bland and watery. Next, use a knife to cut off the hard stem ends on both sides. These stem ends are usually fibrous and difficult to soften. Removing them also helps heat and steam transfer evenly from both sides, allowing the sweet potatoes to cook gently from the inside out. Do you usually cut sweet potatoes this way? Or is this the first time you've done it? After cleaning the sweet potatoes and cutting off the stem ends, the next step is soaking them in salt water. This may sound simple, but it is one of those small details that makes a real difference. Add a little salt to a large bowl of water and stir well. Next, put the sweet potatoes into the salt water and soak for about 10 minutes. Soaking the sweet potatoes for this short time provides several important benefits. The salt helps balance the moisture inside the sweet potatoes, so they do not release too much water during steaming. At the same time, salt gently brings out their natural sweetness. Similar to how a small pinch of salt can make vegetables taste better, salt also helps clean the surface more thoroughly, making the sweet potatoes feel safer and more comfortable to eat. It is a small step, but one I never skip. Once the soaking time is complete, remove the sweet potatoes and let them drain. Now it is time to steam, and this step is very important. Many people place sweet potatoes into the steamer while the water is still cold, and then start cooking. I used to do the same thing, but when the sweet potatoes were done, they often tasted bland and lacked flavor. So ever since I learned this small trick, I never steam sweet potatoes the old way anymore. First, bring a pot of water to a boil. When the water is boiling and producing plenty of steam, place the sweet potatoes into the steamer basket. Arrange them so they are not packed too tightly together. Leave a little space between each one so the heat can circulate freely. This helps the sweet potatoes cook evenly, from the outside to the inside. Steam the sweet potatoes over high heat for the first 5 minutes. The initial high temperature helps lock in moisture and sweetness. After that, Reduce the heat and continue steaming for another 15 to 20 minutes. Depending on the size of the sweet potatoes, smaller ones need less time, while larger ones may need a few extra minutes. To check if they are done, simply insert a chopstick or skewer into the thickest part. If the chopstick or skewer goes through easily without resistance, they are cooked. Once cooked, remove them from the steamer immediately. As the steam escapes, the skins will wrinkle slightly, and the golden flesh inside will become soft, juicy, and lightly crumbly. The sweetness is rich and concentrated, sometimes with a hint of syrup-like sweetness. Compared to boiled sweet potatoes, which often turn mushy and bland, steamed sweet potatoes taste better, richer, and far more satisfying. By the way, I'm always curious, where are you watching from today? Let me know in the comments. Before ending today's video, there is one more small tip that I would like to share with you. Especially if you have too many sweet potatoes and don't know how to use them all, start by peeling the sweet potatoes and placing them in a bowl. After that, mash them until smooth. I usually use a potato masher like this, but a regular fork can also be used. The smoother the sweet potatoes are mashed, the softer and chewier the fritters will be when shaping. After the sweet potatoes are fully mashed, add the dry ingredients. With about 500 grams of sweet potatoes, mix in 50 grams of tapioca starch, 35 grams of all-purpose flour, and 15 grams of white sugar. The amount of sugar can be adjusted depending on how sweet you prefer. After that, slowly add about 75 milliliters of water, gently mixing until the dough becomes soft, smooth, and slightly elastic. The dough should not be dry. This makes shaping much easier. Next, divide the dough into portions and shape them into small cocoon-shaped pieces. The size depends on personal preference. They are usually shaped to be about 2 to 3 finger lengths long, but because this is for family meals, I'm sometimes made a little larger. To prepare the coating, mix 100 grams of unsalted crispy frying batter with a small amount of black sesame seeds. After that, add about 150 milliliters of water and stir well until the batter becomes smooth and slightly thick. It does not need to be too thick. Let the batter rest for a few minutes. To fry, heat enough oil to fully submerge the sweet potato pieces and keep the heat at a medium level. Dip each sweet potato piece into the batter, then gently place it into the oil. Fry until golden and crispy on all sides. When finished, the fritters will have a beautiful golden color with a crispy outer layer and a soft, chewy, lightly sweet interior. They taste best when eaten hot, dipped in ketchup, chili sauce, or a little mayonnaise. This is one of the favorite ways to use leftover sweet potatoes. And this dish is always loved by everyone in the family. I truly hope these tips are useful in your everyday cooking and make time in your kitchen feel easier and more enjoyable. Thank you for spending this time with me, and I'll see you again in the next video.